Looks like we've got a new project. Little Fiat 500 Classic. It's got a very strange noise. Can't quite fathom what it is just yet. But check this out. Ignition on. Fire it up. So, clutch in. Put it into gear. Awful noise. Clutch is still in until you go, then it disappears. So that's actually in first now, doing 10 mile an hour. So the clutch back in, as the revs come down, makes that awful noise again. Only with the clutch in. Pop it out of gear, it goes away. All gears, 1, 2, 3, 4, and reverse. Clutch is still in. Give it a little rev. There it is. Awful noise. Place your bets now. What's wrong? I think the next thing to do will be engine out. As usual, we've got our hot rodder's cardboard to write everything down. First thing we're going to do is take the lid off and then dive in, take the engine out, see what we can find. Well, that was a bit more of a pain in the arse than I thought it was going to be, but it's out anyway. Let's check the input shaft. Now, I'm guessing it shouldn't have that much play, but we'll find out. I think it may be something to do with our pilot bearing, which is right inside there. Let me get a torch. Inside there should be a bearing, but it looks a bit manky. Doesn't look like there's a bearing or a bush. They're called pilot bushes. Pirate bushes. Yeah, it looks a bit manky in there, like there's something been wiggling around. So I think that's probably our issue. Bit too much play on the input shaft there. It's got movement in and out and quite a lot up and down. So I'm guessing behind there there's going to be a bearing, but we'll find out. Just mention as well, that's the list to get it out. Whereas when we had the Ferrari engine out, that was our list, and on the back as well. So a little bit easier. Only took me an hour and a half. But yeah, we'll soon find out. Find out what's going on with this bugger. Right, I'll report back. See you in a bit. Right, I think what we will do is we'll just remove the input shaft sheath round here that guides the release bearing. We'll see if there's anything behind there, because I'm guessing there's going to be a buggered bearing behind here. Now it looks like this gearbox has been done in the past, but you never know. Right, I'll get that off and I'll come back to you. Okay, it's moving now, so let's see what we find behind here. Aha. Looks like there's a little seal in there. Maybe even a bush.
Looks like it should run on something that's in there. Maybe that is the bush. You see, to me it looks like that should have a bearing there, but there isn't actually anything there, because otherwise it just flops about, and it's actually only got the seal there as well. How strange. Let me take a look. Okay, it looks like it probably just does run on the seal, because there are splines inside there. If you can look inside, the splines where the input shaft go onto the gear shaft, but it doesn't appear to have any sort of bearing support or bush or anything in the middle. It just seems to just have a seal. And I think what's supposed to stop this flopping about is the actual pilot bearing inside the flywheel. Let me see if I can get a good zoom in on that, because it's properly buggered in there. There we go, that's better. Looks like there once was some sort of brass bush or something inside there. It's really not very pretty at all. Just get the camera to focus there. Looks like there's all sorts of bronze or copper or something floating about inside there. It certainly doesn't look very good, let's put it that way. Let's see, whip the clutch off and have a look. Oh, look at that little tiny baby clutch. It's pretty new. I don't think it's long been sorted out, this car, but oh yeah, that looks a lot better, or worse, let's put it that way. So you can actually see inside that hole there. Looks pretty gross. I think this might be our culprit. There should probably be a brass bush in there that was once, but is no more. Let's see what I can do. That's probably a bit better. So normally inside flywheels, there's a brass bush that you tap in. When the input shaft for the gearbox comes in, it sits inside and it stops it wiggling around. But that looks to me like it's a little bit buggered. Right, I'll do some research, I'll come back to you. So I've whipped the flywheel bolts out, and it's definitely exposed the brass bush. I've marked the flywheel top there. So let's get this off. Let's see what we've got underneath. Oh, fucking heavy that, surprisingly. Okay, underneath, looks like we've got a brass bush here that probably knocks into the end of the crankshaft. We've got the rear main seal as well. It looks like we'll be able to replace that without having to take much more off. Hopefully it just knocks out and then holds in. So I'm pretty certain, because that thing is buggered, I'm pretty certain that's our issue. Look at that, that's a good shot right in there. That input shaft from the gearbox must have been wiggling around in there making that bloody awful noise. After much swearing and chiseling, it's out.